There's Mama Maxine whining, moaning, and complaining that people got in her face to exclaim that they don't exactly like what she says.
A member of Congress with people, who evidently had a racist attitude. And recently one even confronted me in a restaurant. And they don't say racist things, but what they say is they don't like something I said. They don't like a position that I took.
So, of course, if you disagree with somebody and they don't look like you, well, pull out the racist card. But it seems to me that Aunt Maxine here forgot she said this.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
You reap what you sow, darling. Now let's run over to Sleepy Joe. He seems to be peddling some facts, and I think we're just going to see if we can hold him to task on the things that he says.
The threat that Trump poses is greater in his second term than his first. It's clear that when he lost in 2020, something literally snapped in the sky. No, I'm serious. That's why January 6th happened, when he unleashed an insurrection.
He didn't unleash an insurrection. He said to protest the Capitol if you don't agree with the outcome. Last time I checked, this whole nation was built on peaceful protests. Remember? Just got a little out of control and broke down into a riot. Not a good thing for everybody. But he told people to peacefully protest and respect the police, not to riot, not to insurrect. Come on, Joe. You gotta need a little more Adderall. Let's see where he continued to keep going with this.
He calls insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol patriots. Patriots. If reelected, he wants to pardon, quote, every one of them. Let me ask you, what do you think he would have done on January 6th if black Americans had stormed it? Think about this. What do you think would have happened if black Americans had stormed the Capitol? I don't think he'd be talking about pardons.
Oh, Joe, there you go again. And what are you talking about? He said he would look at pardoning folks. Probably not all of them, but he'll take a look at it. That's what he said. But of course, you gotta trump the racism because it's right in there. It's right in the Democrat playbook. But last time I checked, before Trump left office,
And new this morning ahead of leaving the White House, President Trump has issued his final list of presidential pardons and commutations. Other notable names on the list include rappers Lil Wayne and Kodak Black and the former mayor of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick. President Trump's pardons do not include any members of his family or his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani.
Were they black enough for you, Joey?
It's the same guy who wanted to tear gas you as you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder.
Peaceful protests.
Overnight, growing national unrest. In New York City, dozens of looters seen kicking in windows and breaking into stores across Midtown Manhattan. Macy's iconic flagship ransacked. Reports of fires set inside. In Washington, D.C., military helicopters seen flying low, appearing to try and clear protesters.
We cannot allow the righteous cries of peaceful protesters to be drowned out by an angry mob.
The same guy who still calls the Central Park Five guilty, even though they were exonerated. He's that landlord who denies housing applications because of the color of your skin. He's that guy who won't say Black Lives Matter and invokes neo-Nazi Third Reich terms.
Oh boy, Joe, it's right out of the playbook. Just stoke racism, divide the country, don't bring people together. Gee, sounds like a winning strategy and formula for a cohesive one nation under God going forward. Good job, Joey. Now, in the world of people that are misinformed, Cori Bush, I guess one of these extended squad members, always punishing people that work hard, create jobs, use their own risk capital, borrow against their future, their past, their present, charge up their credit cards. Why? With the dream of becoming a wealthy American and passing on that wealth to the next generation of people. But it's never enough that you have to dive into our pockets and take the money that we've risked and earned and created jobs for people, and those jobs feeding other families. You just got to keep taking a piece of our wealth to pass on and redistribute to other people that just want to be part of the welfare system. Well, how much is enough? Does she even know?
The wealthy should pay their fair share.
Yes, wealthy should pay their fair share.
What is a fair share? What percentage?
So you're saying that you're saying that they're paying their fair share is what you're saying?
No, I'm asking what percentage is a fair share?
Their fair share, the same, if a third of my money is going to taxes, then I think a third of their money should be going to taxes. It does. Well, it does.
I'm trying to understand because you realize the effective tax rate on the poor is less than it is on the rich, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not the poor. I'm very close to that line, but I'm not the poor.
Okay, so the effective tax rate on the middle class is less than it is on the rich, correct? What fair share would you like to change the tax rate to on the wealthiest what percentage of Americans so it's a fair share?
So let's say the wealthy 1% could pay, let's say if they paid, let's just give them 45%.
This person was elected into government, and she can't even, in her own mind, justify a percentage relating to how much of income and what that means coming into the Treasury, not to mention those people like me, entrepreneurs that risk our own future and borrow against assets that we have to create wealth, not only for ourselves, but jobs for others who will pay into the Treasury, that will pay into Social Security, workers' comp, disability, and all this other stuff. Well, how much should we get taken from us? 50%? Really? No kidding. You think I'm dramatic? Look at this guy.
I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life? The only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president. We're trying to be gentlemen in this world. The Democrats, you are gangsters.
Excuse me.
You are gangsters.
You're washed up.
If you are taking your voting advice from washed up, emotionally unhinged actors that really plays by the left playbook, project, call the other guy a racist, say the other guy's unhinged, talk about the other guy's going to take your freedoms, the other guy's going to set the world on fire, the other guy's going to be a dictator, that's straight from the playbook. Project, project, project. And of course he's talking like a gentleman by telling some guy to take himself home and do unto himself really what he should do to himself.